So I was doing some research, and
Yes.
I saw in an interview that you'd given, I can't remember where, you described yourself as the last of the dinosaurs,
Yes.
the older generation of bartenders. What is it about your generation of bartenders that is different, do you think, to the current generation of bartenders?
Oh, massive. It's massive because it is the way we started, in the 50s, talk about 50s and early 60s. We had so much time ahead of us. Everything was slow. Everything was much slower. So we had time to learn, time to consolidate our learning process. We had we had plenty of time to communicate with people, to interact with people, to make friends with people, customers and otherwise. So everything was different. Now everything's fast. Everything is much, much faster. We're talking about making friends with a customer. I would definitely say half an hour is too much. I would say you have minutes to make friends with your customers. It's an immediate thing. So immediate that the rapport is faster. If you don't do that, you lose it. You're gone. It's. So everything is very fast. The media, social media, created the speed. So the youngsters, before we relied upon word of mouth, shall we say, journalists or people who our customer talk about talk about drinking. In those days, we're not even the famous people. They're not theater people, film people, media people, journalists, and they didn't mind to talk about drinking. They were not a problem. But now, of course, the problem is the famous people don't talk about it. It's also about PR people. They're all on the strings. You mustn't say this, you mustn't that. You
can't promote alcohol.
Again, you cannot talk about alcohol because you promote alcoholism. All that. Before they were not saying anything like this. Everybody was talking about it. So, Winston Churchill was talking about it. Everybody in the media was talking about it. Fleet Street was all they were all drinking buddies in those days. In my drinking buddies, because they came, Fleet Street near Savoy. So, I used to have it, and they talk about it. So, stand and so on. So, different time, different.
So the generation of bartender has changed because the environment has changed. It's a different space. A bar represents something different. People's attention spans are different. And so the bartender today has to perform in a different way in order to adapt to the customer.
Absolutely. It's amazing that life is a cycle, right? Don't ask me how many times I go around the cycle. Because I promise you a few times. I've seen everything coming back again. With the flare trousers, flares, they get the flares.
Yeah, they're back again now, aren't they? Yeah.
The platform and all that. You're back again. But how many times it's been around anyway? And of course, again with our work, with our institution, shall we say, again is another evolution, another standard. We're talking about classic. Classic disappearing, classic reappearing. Usually. Classic really come in big way when the crisis, and every crisis under the sun is associated with classic. People have less money to spend. Obviously they want to enjoy it, but they need. So what they need? Value for money. Where is the value for money? In a classic, because you guarantee that practically less juice. Because juice in the classic, juices were more expensive in my time. I promise you, my first introduction to lime, lime which is now today, but it was in 1967.
Really?
68. I said, my God, what is this? This green thing. What is this? We said, what is lime? In those days, lime, because the Savoy would not spend money for it. They didn't get money because it was something like today would be almost £2.50 a lime.
Whoa.
Equivalent.
There you go, guys. You think a case of limes is expensive now? That's nothing compared to the 60s.
Think about it. With the lime, I said, of course, the Savoy didn't pay. I'm not giving the money. So I had to pay with my money and investigate and how to do it. And because obviously the tequila with margarita in those days, I mean, we had awful. Our tequila in those days. I cannot describe to you.
I expect so.
What was metal and the spirit, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, today you think about, even the actual ingredient. I mean, they say, no, the original, we use the original way of. Come on, guys, behave yourself. For God's sake.
Yeah.
Because it's a completely different.
This is it's a common.
So everything, it's even in the product, the ingredient, the distillations.
Yeah.
Have improved. Everything is a change. Evolution. This is evolution.
Yeah, it's a common fallacy, isn't it? That it's the best way to make a classic cocktail is the most authentic way to when it was first produced, because we know now that most of the ingredients available when these drinks were created, not all drinks, but for a lot of drinks, were not as good as the stuff you can get now. We have better quality fruit, or more consistent fruit at least. We have great spirits now, which wasn't always the case. In fact, it's never been better than it is now for spirits.
Absolutely. The range.
Yeah.
Competition, the competition is a great thing. They keep people on the ball.
Exactly.
Keep people,
innovating,
creating new stuff, So not mess around. You can't actually mess around anymore these days because we know, and we, bartenders know, the customers know. We have spoiled our customers. Our customers much more knowledgeable than what they used to be before. People used to used to give you anything, but now you can't fool anymore.
Yeah.
The only sad thing I find, to put it in context, is that we had a lot of fun in those days because we could tell stories. We could build up stories. You could creative the stories, and we had a lot of fun because we had nothing to go by. So we had to create a story. We had a lot of fun, which obviously now you cannot do that anymore because now, you will find out. I said, what are you talking about? I mean, now we have
You can put the phone out and fact check it.
This is, I find a little bit sad because I think we are more, in many ways, it takes a bit of an imagination. It takes away the fun of that.
Do you think bartending's lost some of its romance then?
Yes. You put the word in my mouth. Yes. It's romance is something quite appealing. It's something sort of stimulating, something people relate to. But it's I would say it's something that remains with you. It's something that it's deep. It's go much deeper than the surface. Yeah. I know. Most probably you read about me a bit more. I mean, you did a bit of research. I do a lot of, I go to bar shows and I go around, because as I say, I love the young people, what they do. I tell you, I think they're great. Honestly, what they're doing is great. I don't take away anything from them. But to say the subject of romanticism, to actually go to see the young people, they've done what, 9, I've been generous, 10 years, maybe 10 years. Okay, let's say 15 years. Okay, 15. And they know, they talk about hospitality. They talk about how to communicate and how this and that and the other. And I think, people say, but they all books is all read. You see where is the experience there? Where the depths of the word that they speak. They're very, very fluid. My God, they're lovely. I love to listen to them, I promise you. But at the same time, I said, okay, as I say, we have fast pace. This is all part of the speed of things. How to get yourself known, how to make, your reputation. How do you make your place in this world, and all the rest of it. So it's so very quick, and there's one way to do it. I mean, I'm glad that they do, because as I said, what we missed in those days is really as I say, very slow. And now the social media, and if you know how to play the social media, how to communicate with social media, you get you get there. You get much faster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Social media is
your name is comes
quicker
quicker.
Well, I mean, social media, I think, is a massive part to play in this, because it exposes young hospitality professionals to the possibility.
Absolutely.
They aspire to be the same as their heroes, the people they look up to, their mentors, gurus in the industry, people like yourself. They will look at that and go, wow, I want to be in Peter's position. I want to be head bartender at the American bar at the Savoy, or I want to have this person's like social media following, or I want to be a brand ambassador for that brand. And they see it, and they have an objective, they have a target, a very clear purpose, what they want to get to. And so it motivates people to work fast and to be quite directional. But at the same time, it can often, I think, sometimes cause people to fast track. They kind of make jumps that would previously have taken much longer. More experience would have been there. And I'm probably someone that sits sort of between these two generations, because social media wasn't around when I first started bartending, but it obviously is around now and has been around through my latter years.
So you've seen the change.
I've seen the change.
Change,
I've seen the change. And like when I first started bartending, and I guess it was probably a bit like you, and we'll get back to your early career in a minute, there wasn't really any obvious direction to go. It's like, I want to get a job, I want to get paid, I want to, maybe work my way up. But you're only exposed really to the people that you're working with, and maybe a few other venues that you might happen to go in if you're lucky enough to go in them. I'd imagine, you're as a bartender, we'll get to the Savoy, but a bartender at the American bar at the Savoy, it's not like you're just walking into other hotel bars and going, oh, right, cool, and all that kind of thing. So the opportunity as a younger bartender, I think, just wasn't so obvious. And now it is, and that's creates an incredible amount of motivation and drive for people in the industry. The issue there is that it's just everything gets accelerated, everything's faster, and you don't necessarily get that skill development and that time in a job. The time to perhaps get a bit bored, and be like, how do I make this more fun? How do I make this more interesting? How can I, because you just, right, next job, right, I want to be that. And it just, I don't know if this has been an ongoing thing, I think, for a few years now, and I'm not sure that we're necessarily fostering growth in the right way within hospitality and within the drinks industry.
Yes, there are quite a few people, or youngsters that I know of, that they started quite early in life, and they start from the bottom. They start from scratch, as you say, and find their way through. And when they speak with much more concise. They're much more concise, much more. When it comes to communication, much more understood. So the people understand those kind of people, you know what I mean? But the majority is all learned from not from the scratch, from somebody else. And I say, okay, this is my starting point.
Second-hand information.
Second-hand information. And they repeat, but it is not there because the communication, the language they use, they're wasting, and they try the best they can, but there's no foundation, there is no background, there is no there to support them to carry on. So
I mean, you're someone that spent quite a lot of time working at one venue or another venue. You didn't move around too much in your career. Do you think that is... Am I right about that, or am I wrong?
How wrong can you be?
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Well, let's break this down. So, shall we go back to the start?
But I won't bore you with the details because but I can put in many, if you want to start, let's start. But I promise you that it will amuse you.
Okay.
If we got time to talk
We've
about
got time. We've got time. Let's go.
can amuse you.
Let's go back to the start.
Yes.
So, you were born in Rome
Correct.
and
Yes.
grew up in Rome until you were how old?
When I
Left.
born.
When did you leave?
Leave Rome. When I was 18, just 18 and a half, nearly 19.
What was the motivation behind leaving?
Two reasons. One of the reasons I come from a family of bankers, so my direction would have been banking, which is definitely is not me. Okay, I'm Gemini, by the way, just to give you an idea. A jack of all trades, master of none. So I doesn't just suit me at all. And then because the other thing was 18 months of army training. So because army was compulsory in those days, so I had to do 18. Nobody puts a gun in my hands or a rifle, whatever you call it. So that's it. And the other thing I discovered that the wonderful world of blondes, which was my definitely my direction. And so I was in desperate need. So my uncle was in London. So I wrote to him and, hey uncle, get me out of here, I'm drowning. And he listened to me and he got me a permit. But not that the greatest of permit, how much, God bless him, he had no choice. Because being a minor, so could only get a permit which is resident handyman, means working and living in the same place.
Right. Okay.
Because of my age.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I got it here, and practically I fulfill the three what you say, necessity. You say?
Requirements. Yeah.
Requirement. Thank you. And so I didn't do the banking. I had to do the army. And I was probably still waiting for me. Anyway, I got freedom for in peacetime, and then I found my blonde. There you are. And,
Found the blonde.
Yeah, and which is this year. Still this year, I complete 3 amazing years, or which is one is I'm 85. Second is 65 years of bartending, as I say, starting in 1958. And the best of all, Diamond's anniversary.
Diamond anniversary.
With the same blonde.
Wow, the same blonde.
60 years with the same blonde.
Congratulations.
There you are.
That is quite something.
You know, and
big year.
as I say, it's a big year.
Big year.
Big party years.
Yeah, you got some celebrations planned?
Oh, I've been partying for all year. So that's most probably nearly at the end. So
Okay.
nearly at the end.
Nice.
So there you are.
So you get to the UK,
Yes.
and you've got to get a job. So where do you go?
But with my uncle, and my auntie. They were both a manager and manageress in this hotel, in Pendower Hotel, which is practically south of Truro, near St. Maur's.
There's some more.
Near St.
Which
Maur's.
is near where I live.
That's what my place I used to go and have fun in those days.
So that's
Rising Sun. I don't know if you're a Rising Sun, the pub around the
pub. There's a Rising Sun in Truro. I know that one.
No, it's St. Maur's.
In St. Maur's. So
The
so
pub,
just,
which are right at the hill.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
I don't go to St. Maur's very much. So just for context, we were talking before we started recording. I didn't know this. It turns out my research is pretty bad, actually, on Peter, because I think there's going to be a few surprises here. But I did not know that you started out working in Cornwall. I live in Cornwall, only about 25 minutes from St. Maur's. But you said Pendower Hotel is not there anymore.
No, now because the lady, the owner said that he couldn't find the staff. It was a problem with the staff, so she actually gave up and said, all right. But the fun of it, when I went to see at the place, is next to it was the staff annex, which is the bedroom and the restroom, the television there, and the eating place. But it was all in wood, okay? So she actually retained that. He lost half of it really because of the wood was obviously. But so the sleeping quarter is gone. But the actual restroom and hotel is still there.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
so she was very proud. I said, no, I'm going to keep that because that is history. And I said, well, thank you, but please do. And so it was the job was the odd job. It practically was a jack of all, as I said, doing everything that was needed. Washing up, cleaning, helping a chambermaid. So my auntie was a chambermaid. My uncle was in the restaurant doing the wine and things like this. So the owner, the couple, the owner, the wife was working in the kitchen, and the man, the owner was in wine and spirits and all that part of the world. So, but he was a Scottish guy.
Scottish guy.
So at 12:30, 1 o'clock, he was a little tipsy, to be a little tipsy, to say the least. So he came to me and said, Peter, you're in charge of the bar.
Because he was too drunk.
Excuse me?
Because he was too drunk.
He was a far gone. So that's my first introduction to the bar.
Wow.
So he said to me that with very little English, no knowledge whatsoever about bars. I said, but no, nothing. Easy. Gin and tonic with the beers is there. Anyway, if you any cocktail, anything, you know there are 3 reference books in there. You help yourself. I said, well, okay. So this is it. So I did, and I did a few gin and tonic. You know, this is wasn't too bad. But then there's a lovely lady, mid 40, but well kept. You know, that just was carrying a poodle.
Okay.
Carrying a poodle. And she asked me for a whiskey sour. So I said, what the hell is whiskey sour? So what am I going to do there? So I said, well, reference book. So I was looking at the reference book, but at the same time, the lady practically sat in front of the bar with the poodle in her hand. So I became aware the poodle was staring at me, without leaving, we just totally stared. So I was looking at the book, but I said I was amused by the fact. I said, what are dogs looking at me for? I mean, like this for? Anyway, but then I became aware of the tail of the dog, and the lady went, oops. So I said, what's happening? I stopped because should I interfere? Should I do anything? The lady picked up the dog, put it down on the floor, and she was practically wet. So the dog did an unfortunate thing of the lady. So she said to me, would you mind to look after the dog while I'm going to change? So I say, oh, yes, of course, madam. And the dog didn't have to do it because it kept staring at me, did not move, looking at me like I don't know why. But anyway, whatever.
Obviously, whatever.
But then it gave me the chance to look to a blessing. It was a blessing because, oh my God, I had time to. So I looked for the whiskey sour. Yeah. So I did the whiskey sour. It was horrendous. I said, what? People drink this rubbish. That's a terrible thing. What is that cocktail? So I said, maybe I made a mistake. So I started saying, what happens if I put more sugar and more whiskey? Maybe I could get away with it.
Not a bad strategy.
Yeah, I thought to myself, okay. So the second one, I tested. I said, that maybe I get away with this. That doesn't too bad. So when a lady came and I gave it to her, I said, oh, thank you very much. This is the best whiskey sour I had in my life. And so,
maybe I'm okay.
I have a future. I have a chance in here. I have a future in here.
That's so interesting. Sometimes you just need encouragement from someone, even if it's a lady with dog shit on them, to give you the kind of the confidence to say, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm okay at this. Maybe I can do this. And then that can set a course of events that you end up here 65 years later, and we're still talking about bartending.
Yes, and that's why this is the starting of Peter, the word. My name is Giampiero.
Yeah.
And not John Peter.
Yeah.
So when I be behind the bar, and I constantly behind the bar, mainly that one, because I did, of course, waiting. I did, of course, sommelier, because my uncle was out. So as I said, I was doing practically almost everything. But the bar, what I loved, that's where I became aware of the bar, the world, the bar world, which it suited me. I felt it, because it was, in those days, as I said, they start with John, because they couldn't pronounce Giampiero. In those days, the English were very, I mean, they're dreadful with languages, and especially with names like this.
Yeah.
So I was getting to John. I said, no, I don't like John. So I said, Peter. So from that moment, my name became Peter, to shorten of my name, Peter.
Does anyone call you Jean Piero now?
No, no one.
No one.
I tried when I retired, but nobody said, no, we're not interested. Practically
Too late. Too late.
In no certain word, very straightforward. Said, no, we're not interested.
Sorry.
To us, you are Peter.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah,
That's what's at home. I'm stuck
Hardly
with
surprising.
Peter. So there you are. So I became aware of the communication, of the interaction with people, with customers, because they were calling me by name. No, in a restaurant they say, yes, excuse me, waiter. No,
Yeah, personal connection. Yeah.
In the bar, I say, Peter. So I said, wait a minute.
It's broken down a barrier there, hasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I became to communicate. Hi, John. Hello, Louis. They call me Peter. I call me by name.
Yeah.
And they liked it. Everything went fine. I said, wow, that's brilliant.
That's quite a discovery to make so early.
So that's
so early on.
my first introduction. But then, of course, I had to return to that because things changed after that.
Yeah. So you were in Cornwall just for one season, is that right?
One season.
And then what happened after that?
That's where I remember you mentioned the fact that I was in 2 or 3 places.
Lots of places.
Shall I start from then?
Yeah,
Okay.
go.
So, because as I said, working and living in places, in London, the only really places I could do it, with my limited English as well. My uncle, we had an interview with a London Hostel Association Limited, so working for the hostel, right? Which of Sloane's Garden. Sloane Garden, where 7 buildings. It's all about a hostel, youth hostel. And I remember vividly, I couldn't stop laughing. The interview, my uncle did everything, the talking, because I couldn't really make sense out of it. But my uncle turned to me and said, the manager said that you can drink as much milk as you like. I said, why should I drink? Why should I drink milk? I said, well, this is what she said. I said, okay. So the job was boilerman.
Right.
I said, boilerman means to say that I have 7 boilers, 7 buildings, 7 boilers. Okay. So to cut the story short, they introduced me. The manager introduced you, showed me the boilers, and showed me to talk about it later. And I said, yes, fine. What's a big deal? I mean, it's a boiler, for God's sake. Huh? And the first day, I didn't realize, because he didn't explain everything. But the boilers in those days was coal, not coal, but coal. That's why we had smog in those days.
Like coal boilers, yeah.
Because smog was
Yeah.
very bad. Smog
Yes.
was very bad in those days. We were choking. Another story. Anyway, it's so. What happened is that the boiler works. How it works? It works that you in the morning you start to generate, put a fresh coal. Open it, and so the actual traction, so that eating all the water. The water, especially people want to shave, or the youngsters want to do shower and whatever it is. I provided the hot water for them. Okay, so
Still a bartender of sorts, because you're giving them water.
Yeah, give them water. Yes, it's related. So but I didn't. So my first job, of course. First job, I had to go down to start working. I did not realize. So I opened the boiler. All because it was closed, all the gases, was because it was closed, all the gases were imprisoned, which were into the boiler. By open the shot, the gases escape, and I breathed the gases, and I choked,
Yes.
and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't. Oh my God! I can't breathe. I can't breathe. So I rushed out of the boiler, which was below the street, below the staircase. I was like, help, help. And the manageress was crossing the road. And then she looked at me with a choking. I said, quick, milk, milk.
Hence the milk.
I realized the importance of milk. because the gas was really bad. The only thing to could clear it was the milk.
Wow. Okay.
So I could only do that job for a while.
No, you don't want to be doing that for too long.
No, not too long. But in those days, the working permit. So the working permit in those days was serious. That means that the police was chasing you. Police verified. Police making sure that you were doing what was you allowed to do. Right? So I end up, what can I do? Once I leave, what would I do? So now you have the first, shall we say, what do you call it? I'm trying to find the word now. I'm lost with the word. They even did the film. Fugitive.
Okay, Fugitive.
So
right.
I became a fugitive.
Because you weren't meeting the requirements of your work permit, you were to stay in the country.
Yes. So I could not do what I as I said, they're supposed to do. So I became a classy fugitive. You're saying that police don't drink on duty. I beg your pardon. I can differ from that one. Anyway, and I started practically from Jonah Growth to all the west coast, which is Crinan south of Auburn. Then there, for example, say everywhere I've been, wasn't a disaster. Something happened. Okay. So Crinan, I lost practically almost 2 days in Crinan because I challenge because I'm being a Roman, and the Scottish people were killed. So the Romans,
yes, that's true.
The Romans
have history. Yeah.
The Romans have the same attire.
Yeah.
We are sort of killed because of the fighting freedom. And of course, the challenge with the Roman and the Scots. So I challenged a Trawler man. He was the worst person I could choose, who could drink as much whiskies in one go.
You challenged the Scotsman to a whiskey drinking competition.
No, the Scotsman, a Trawler man. You know what Trawler man?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy. You know, if you got, I mean, I could go to detail. Would you like me to go to details?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Okay, right.
It sounds like a fun story.
So
you challenged a trawlerman to a drinking competition.
A competition with whiskey. Now, the competition was to drink it with the hands behind the back, pick up a bottle, lift it, and drink it.
Wow. Okay.
Now, you know Johnny Walker, Red Label? There is no neck in the churches.
Sure, yeah.
Now, if you use any other bottle with a longer neck, you use it as a leverage on top of your mouth, at top of the. You could use it as a leverage, and then you'll be able to lift, even with some difficulty, because a full bottle is pretty heavy bottle.
Yeah.
Now, this gentleman, this fellow, shall we say, larger than life, with the yellow teeth, he picked up this bottle of Johnny Walker Red Label with his teeth. And just like little straws, he just lifted with no problem whatsoever. I don't know how he did it. But anyway,
Practice.
He went up and lifted the bottle and he drank. it. He went, it went just half bottle, just nearly half bottle.
He drank half a bottle, lifted it
Just
up with his teeth.
With his teeth.
Wow.
Just almost half, not quite half bottle, but nearly.
Jesus, they don't make them like that anymore, right?
Then he put, the big mistake he made is the fact that they put the bottle down and he took it to his mates. in broad Scottish accent, he didn't understand a word, but it took too long. So I saw his eyes
I bet.
go around and he went flat at his back on the floor,
way.
not front, at the back of it. So I said, oh my God, what did I do? But I say, well, if he kills me, I got to do it. There's no way I can get out of it. So what I use as the age of the bar as a leverage, like this.
Clever.
right?
Tip it over, basically.
Tip it over, and use that leverage with the top.
Really
of the bar,
clever.
right?
I mean, clever, apart from the fact that you're obviously drinking whiskey straight out of a bottle.
So I started drinking like that.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can control it.
So then of course it became a moment where I couldn't control it, because then became quite, then leverage was on my favor now. And I kept going. I promise you, please youngsters, if you listen to me, beware, a warning, right? Because once you are the first things that happens is you have a burning sensation in your throat. It burns. So once that is done, the damage is done, if you like. It's just like water. It goes down easily, because it's just like because you're already done the damage.
You've numbed it.
You're
Yeah,
numbed.
yeah.
You're numbed the thing.
Yeah.
So it went down. So I could see the level, and so I practically did half. It's just more than half, just a fraction. So I knew I beat him. Okay. So I put the bottle down, and then the things I remember next. a finger next to my nose.
Were you on the floor?
Next to the floor, and I said, where am I? And I was in the hospital,
Oh, whoa.
and the doctor was, because I say, I was wake up, obviously. I realized that I'm waking up. You can hear me, talking to me. You can hear me? And I say, yes, I can hear you. Well, you are being a naughty boy, and she just went crazy on me. I mean, he told me everything you could say under the sun. And then I say, what happened? So what happened is that because of between the hotel and the hospital was something like 8 miles. By the time they drove me with a Land Rover, they took me that quite a bit of the alcohol into my bloodstream. So they pump, the usual thing. No, pump it up, but now the problem is that quite a bit of the alcohol into my bloodstream because of lack of air. The problem is, guys, please don't drink from the bottle. I promise you guys, this is what happened to me. I lost 2 days because likely they injected my heart to slow the heart down so much that they had my blood time to absorb the alcohol. Otherwise would be embolism.
Yeah.
Would be the danger of embolism. So, by Peter.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it sounds like you nearly died.
So, but the amazing thing is that the guy who actually challenged, he sat by my bed. He sat on my bed and never left the chair, apart from going to the loo. Never left the chair.
Wow.
Until I woke up. So he spent 1.5 days sitting on my bed, on the side of my bed, because obviously he felt guilty.
Yeah.
Obviously. But as soon as I woke up, it disappeared. And the doctor said, but where is he? Where is he? No, I'm sorry, it's gone. So I couldn't say thank you or something to him. But the fact that I'm still alive is a godsend.
Yeah.
So that is one of, as I say, lost 2 days of my life because of that.
I bet you'd say thank you and fuck you.
Exactly. So anyway, from there, and I said, unfortunately, the back door or the bar, coppers or policemen, I said, oh, hi man, is that a couple of pints? I'm in Scotland, by the way. That's not England, right?
Yeah.
Couple of pints. I say, yeah, mate. I say, we haven't seen you at the police station. I say, what? Are you going to? Are you going to come to the police? Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm so busy. I'll come. So I realized that my time came, and then after the mass suitcase, bike on the move, as I say, on the run.
So they were expecting you to turn up to the police station because you're an immigrant. You just need to go and check in.
I had to be registered to the labor exchange and the police station. First, the labor exchange to give me the permission to work in the premises, whatever, and then go to the police station to say where I was. So you had to, both you had to register. So people are quite lucky these days and to actually.
I know. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because immigration is in the news a lot today, and it seems like back in the '60s it was pretty hard being an immigrant in this country. Yeah.
Very hard. They were following you. They were there on the ball.
Yeah.
So we went from there to. I said, well, let's go to the Midland. They were in Kenilworth near Leamington Spa.
Oh yeah.
Kenilworth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Kenilworth Hotel.
Yes.
So I worked there, and again at the bar. So bar in there, bar in Kenilworth. And so there again, same thing happened. Unfortunately, again, another thing happened to me because my life is full of events. Is
it another drinking competition or something different?
Well, the annex for the staff was, as I said, Glove Hotel, but like a U-shape. It was all wood, brick base, wood structured. So one day we went to Leamington. We had fun with my mates. About 5 of us, something. I remember approximately. Yeah, 5 of us. And we were quite happy after a nice evening. So we went to the bus. We got a bus, and at the junction with the hotel. So we stopped, and we start walking towards the hotel, and singing, "Oh Sole Mio," all the jazz, and near we got. I said, well, I don't know. Are we on the same road? I think it's not the road. We missed in the road. No, I think it must be this. So no, it cannot be. But where is Salvatore? All the annex for the staff burned down.
No.
Completely. Flat. Complete. That's why we couldn't see it. We could see it.
So you'd gone out for the night.
And
then come back and it vanished.
Completely vanished. So we looked at each other. I said,
this had your possessions in it as well.
Guys, that's what we wear. That's what we look at our attire. I said, that's what we got, guys.
Wow.
And but it's amazing, being quite untidy in those days. So I had quite a lot of a bit untidy. What happens is that the fire brigade, the firemen got in quickly and picked up whatever they could and chucked it out of the window, okay, and tried to save it. But of course, very wet. You can imagine it. The water does more damages sometimes than the fire. So chuck everything away, and what the gods, one of the gods said, which is obviously ridiculous to say, the passport was practically the cover was a bit charred, obviously, but the actual was in good nick. Practically, my passport was okay, which obviously was out of date.
Yes.
That's another story, but let's not go into too many things anyway. So anyway, tennis racket, and half of my i5, my radio. So that is another one. That's
wow. And then so you basically lost all of your possessions.
Then I came to London. I did a couple of places in London. And then they went to near Loo.
Loo in Cornwall.
Loo in Cornwall, yeah, Loo.
Oh, so you're back down in Cornwall again?
Yeah, again, I did only a few weeks there.
Okay. Wow.
Because again, it was too dangerous. So I came back to London.
Too dangerous?
Yeah, because again, police.
Police, right.
And so in the cut the story short, I've been a few other places. No point to do very short. And one of the amusing thing is then I don't say as I'll wait for your next questions.
You're all right.
What happened once you come to London? I did my spell. I did 4 years. No, yeah, just over 4 years. And after 4 years, it's with the same job with the restrictions on, you get the freedom.
Okay.
Right. Freedom, because was that for 4 years, right? So when it came the time when I said, now I've done 4 years, what do I do? I'm stuck. So what can I do? So somebody suggested, why don't you be a butler, or shall we say, work for a family as a domestic?
I see, yeah.
I said, well, okay, let's investigate that. So I did, and I went to work for a Jewish family, a full couple, in Knightsbridge, as a domestic. I did everything from cooking, ironing, washing, as a domestic.
Yeah.
As a domestic. And he took me because he did a lot of cocktail parties, because he was a freelance journalist. But he was also Colonel. It's called Colonel William, from it's in the army, ex-army.
Oh, Colonel, yeah.
A Colonel in the army,
yeah.
but he was a freelance journalist. So he entertained a lot. So he loved me because I did all the canapes, and I did all the drinking, of course, all the cocktails, and it's all the classic also it. I did all that, and but the wife was very keen because I was, obviously my cleaning maybe wasn't up to stand.
You were good at the drinks and food,
and
not so good at the ironing.
I had to do everything because they're very, very keen. I had to do over washing by hand, no washing machine, no.
Right, wow.
Everything had to be washed by hand.
Whoa.
So it's, maybe I didn't do that job. Anyway.
And where are we? When are we now? In the 60s, right? Is this,
yes.
Yeah.
In the 60s,
sure.
yes. So I did, practically 63, 60, 50, 58, 62. So 62. Anyway, and I used to be a lot of fun because my uncle was a bartender in Italy, in Rome, as a banker. I used to call it P-brain. I used to call it because I used to hate bankers. I used to be all banker. I used to have a P-brain because, I used to a lot of fun. P-brain. My uncle said, no respect. Pisello, cervello pisello, which is P-brain. And I used to, no respect, So, the Colonel William got me on my side. Okay, young man, time is up. Why you're here? Why doing what you're doing here? Why? I said, no, I'm happy. I'm happy, but a young man like you is the wrong play. It's the wrong thing, okay? This is really a woman, possibly a woman with a certain age, okay? Why is you're so young? Your future is not here. So why you're here? So I came up and said, okay. I explained the situation. I said, I see. Okay, tomorrow we go to the labor exchange. No, please, don't, please, because we cannot do this because I've been fugitive. I've been illegally in this country. Young man, remember, all the civil servants, or the majority of them, have P-brains. I said, I remember that. I gave the P-brains. I said, don't worry, let's go. I said, let's go. I had no alternative.
Yeah, I didn't have a
and
choice.
We went to and the same guy, which I knew a few years before.
Previous.
The same guy behind the desk, the same thing. And we walked in, and this guy, I cannot describe the situation. The Colonel is a wonderful guy with a bowler hat, umbrella, aquascutum raincoat, went to the right, sitting on the right, while I went to the desk on the left. And I said, oh. So I said, and this guy looked at me. He recognized me, but he couldn't place me. So I give him my book, and the police book. I had 2 books, 2 little booklets. So I gave him the one when he come to work, the labor.
Yeah.
And he looked at it, he looked at me, and he gave it a smile. He recognized me. He remembered by looking at it. And he looked at me. So, he said to me, now there are 2 stamps. One square one and one narrow, long one. The square one, back to Italy. The long one,
You can stay.
cancelled. 2 stamps. He picks up the square one. I said, bastard. Okay, back to Italy. But I couldn't explain to you. He was in midair.
Yeah.
He had the stamp in midair. The Colonel William, excuse me, one moment. So this guy remained with
In
the
midair.
stamps in midair.
With your future held here.
My future held in one hand, in my left hand. And I say, yes. So the gentleman here picked up the hat, put it down, took the umbrella, came to the desk, kept up the visiting card. I say, quick, snap. I have no time to waste. That's my name now. My name is Carlo William. Any query, any problem? That's my card. This guy, look at the card. Just look at the card. And look at the guy. Look at me. If you, I could kill. I mean, he could have pulverized me. He just said, he pushed down the quiz. He picked up the other one, cancelled. But bang.
Aye.
I cannot tell you the moment.
That must have been amazing.
4 years
Yeah.
of struggling.
Yeah.
And that is
Suddenly you've got, it's like you can breathe, right? You
yeah.
You're not fearful anymore. There's opportunities open to you.
A huge load, just load. And of course, even more amusing is the fact that I went with that to the police station, in Vines police station, which is in Piccadilly, the Vines police station. And they said, could I show the booklet? The police guy look at the book and look at the police one. He couldn't work it out. I said, what? Then he looked at it. He raised it up.
Push.
Cancel the police one book.
What a great day.
Well, needless to say, I had only 10 days of
Enjoying yourself, celebrating.
absolutely stone out of my mind. I could the freedom. That freedom meant everything. Anyway, so
what did you do with your freedom then? You've got the world is your oyster.
well now it's a question of what do you do, not what what can I do? Well, I mean, and the opportunity came with because my brother, because my brother came over as well a few years before. Came over literally almost the same time. Anyway, cut it short. I worked in a restaurant, in a Galan restaurant, in Notting Hill Gate, where Hoop Pub was. I don't know if you remember. The opposite side of the cinema.
Okay. Oh yeah.
You know the cinema in the corner?
Yeah.
Opposite side, and now is some French coffee place.
Okay.
But anyway, that used to be a pub and the festival was a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
That's, by the way, Gala restaurant. That's where I met my wife.
Ah, okay.
So that's where it all started from.
That's where the blonde.
Blonde. That's where I met my blonde.
Yeah.
And so I worked with my uncle was there as well. So we worked with my uncle. Then of course that closed, and I moved away. My brother was working in a stone shop house. Stone shop house used to be
Yes.
restaurant off Panton Street.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember that at all.
I don't remember
English
it, but I've
was
seen
an
it.
English restaurant
Yeah.
like Rules, like Simpson.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
carved
yes.
in trolleys and everything. We're on 2 floors. And he was a sommelier. So I started working with, practically my brother said, why don't you come and work in a restaurant as a sommelier? So practically my brother and I, we were sommelier at the Stone Shop House.
And this is where the Pebbles bar's there, right?
Owned by the Savoy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's where I started Savoy, worked with the Savoy company.
And what year was that?
In 1964.
64.
65. And they changed the upstairs was just a restaurant both sides. There was the bar downstairs, not bar, it's not a lounge. But they decided to change one of the offices upstairs and to convert into a bar. So Stone Shop House, Pebble Bar. But because I have a previous knowledge of bar, because obviously bar, the manager there, they say, why don't you take over, you and your brother take over the bar upstairs? So I say, but meantime, what would you do? Why don't you go and work in the American bar while this will happen?
Okay.
So then when I moved, my brother was there, but I moved to the American bar.
Okay.
Meeting Joe Gilmore.
Yes.
My teacher.
Okay, so
my
you
mentor.
went to the American bar whilst the Pebbles bar was being built. You met Joe Gilmore there. You started your training with him, and then you moved back from the American bar to Pebbles to work there.
That's correct.
Right.
So when I opened, I say, okay, Joe, because Joe came and the opening was with Joe and the 2 of us. And I worked there with my brother. Then my brother only worked, I'm not sure, maybe a year, or maybe more, but just over. But then he picked up a Pentax, he discovered a wonderful world of photography. And said, okay, brother, bye-bye. And I was left there on my own to run the place while he was in another career, which is a very successful career of photography.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I had a studio in just not far from here, actually.
Yeah. How did it feel?
In the city.
So you had the bar, you were running the bar by yourself then. So how did that feel? Were you ready for that at that point in your career?
Yeah. So but by then I
mean, you were out drinking Trawler in Scotland, you know?
No, I mean, yeah. Then, but then I sort of was I was in my place, my place, and I did, I had a chance, as I say, discover the chance of develop my personality, my sort of charisma, if you like, or my style.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and I never liked. To me, the bar has to be bars. I like the bars in the bar. And of course, I took it away to the American bar. But anyway, there I learned a lot. The communication, deal with customer, deal with people, especially with famous people, because in those days, the bar used to be open at 11 o'clock, close at 3 o'clock, reopen at 5:30 until 11. So most of the barmen or the bar industry, they were all most of Italian, by the way, or foreigners. Okay, they all went to Savoy, practically from there. Coffees and so on. The snooker, playing cards, Scopa, the Italians, the Italian games and all the rest of it. They were entertaining themselves for 2.5 hours. I'm an anti-conformist. I don't conform very well. So if I'm more that direction, I go the opposite direction usually. That's me.
So where did you go?
So upstairs, I can close the door. Once I had the door, so I can close the door. I do what I like. I mean, why should I conform? I mean, who's going to find me on the first floor? You see what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And so this is what I did. And
what did you do?
In those days, the Water Street was very, very famous for film industries. The early 60s and 70s, where film, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, Universal, NGM, Universal Studio, they were all there. So accidentally, not accidentally, whatever you're going to put it, is the fact that when one day was there, for example, was Roger Moore, who was it there? Alec Guinness, and Kenneth William, not Kenneth Moore. No, it was Kenneth Moore. Sorry, not Kenneth William. It was the funny with the voice. We know carry on
films.
Carry on film.
Yeah.
That also was my customer. But I mean, no, that particular was Kenneth Moore, which is the one. Do you know Kenneth Moore?
No.
The famous Bada, which is the one, the pilot without legs. Do you remember these films? The film is what's it called? The film?
I don't know it. I don't think.
Barden, something. And the famous anyway. Was a good film star. So I said, well, why should I? So when I'm here, why should I? It's my freedom. So I sat down, and I had my drink. Thank you very much. Which in that particular case was gin and tonic. But my Negroni was then my drink. Anyway, it's so I did. But then the Roger Moore came to me. Can I have a drink? I said, yeah. Help yourself. They say, can I do that? I said, yeah. Really? Yeah. Okay. So do you know what to do? I said, well, not very. Well, so I went to the champagne cocktail. So I gave him a champagne cocktail. You know how to do it. And by the way, the Alec Guinness is white spritzer.
Brilliant.
I said, well, you know what? So I show explain how to make it. And he actually he served it.
Wow.
He loved it. What happened? That when he went back and told can you imagine, hey Peter,
He's letting us go behind the bar and make drinks.
So had a lot. You can imagine how much fun I had.
Yeah, I bet.
So there I learned how to deal with the famous people, and then I learned to say, and there was those people that were, what can I say? They were neurotic, a mess like me. And like most people, or practically everyone, the same. So why should I treat them differently?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, so then I never give importance to people like that.
Everyone's the same.
So that's
right?
the problem that I have in later on, because not giving some importance to people like that and to be treated like you and me. Actually, if anything, I give more importance to a person I've never seen before coming in, and I say, "Ooh, how are you?" I say, "Hello, how are you?" I said, I have a dry martini, for example, and I said I will definitely care about him because I want him back. I know I knew that they were coming back, all the others coming back, but I didn't know about I want him back. So I was paying more attention to him than famous people, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And this I carry on through my life, through my working life. So when I went to the American bar, because they closed, Stone Choppers closed, so I went back to the American bar, joined leadership with Victor Gower, which used to be the famous Victor Gower, the OBE, famous United show bartender. That's why I hope that Il Maestro will have something similar, which I will love that. I hope he invites me to Buckingham Palace and join him. Anyway, it will be nice. Anyway, so the American bar. So
can we go? But since we're on American bar and we already touched on it briefly, Joe Gilmore. So he started there in '54.
Yes,
I believe at age 32.
Yes.
What can you say about Joe's style of bartending and hospitality?
Irishman, great personality. I learned practically everything from him. But not sure we say almost everything. Because one of his problems is horses, and that was his problem and his downfall. Okay, sadly, because I know it's one of these unfortunate things that the Irish, and he was very keen. So he had all his mates. He was always interested in his mates. Gamblers, of course, all doing the same thing. So. Anyway, but when it comes to actual cocktail making, as a mixologist, should I say, And communication with the people was amazing. I love his style. I love his panache, his finesse. You know, it's a way that within minutes they had in his palm of his hand. You know, so that you are mine. You know, I can do anything to you. I can do anything, make or break. You know what I mean? I love that style.
And it's it's charisma. It's a certain sort of brand of being able to just be the warmth that people feel from you. Like what was he doing? Like as someone who obviously studied him, what were your observations about how he managed to make people want to spend time with him and listen to him?
He knew everything about the body language. And I learned then the art of body language. And I went very deep into body language. So, and that's practically serves me through even now, talking to you. It's so...
I'm suddenly very conscious of the way I'm sitting.
No, it's true. It's all about body language. And I would, you know, that's, as I said, back to what we started, the difference between someone starting from basic, understanding for the basic, and that almost can naturally progress to body language, reading the body language, understanding the body language, almost naturally without even trying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
While the others are, you can see there is not that depth. There's not that natural.
But do you think it comes naturally to someone like Joe Gilmore that they can understand body language, or do you think it's because he spent so much time communicating with people and reading it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, do you know the
exactly?
You know,
it took me less than him.
Yeah.
Because I pay attention to that. So I say, oh, wait a minute, there is more to it. So I made a very my point to watch him and how he used that body language. He used that and how he operated that. And I became very aware of the movement, what he was doing, how he was doing, and the reaction of the customer, the way he talked to them and how they reacted to his. So I became to understand the relationship, that wonderful world of communication. I understand that the moment is very important. Somebody who is prepared to listen. Somebody is not prepared to listen. Somebody who like to be made attention of or like to be noticed. Somebody, no, he doesn't want to be noticed. He wants to be left alone. And so on. The different way to read people, that not everybody is the same. When you come to people, you have to understand individually how to face that challenge. That is important.
Do you think that that's something that can be trained, or can it only really be observed and learned, like you're describing?
Of course, it can be learned, like I did. I got, it took years.
But you can't teach me. I have to learn it and observe it myself.
Yes. You can do observation, which I used, which I did. Because he was a great master, because I really loved
You need a master to observe, right? Yeah.
I observe a master.
Yeah.
So I was lucky to have someone to teach me, even if I was prepared to listen, to be taught, shall we say. But I was lucky. Not many people are that lucky but you have to learn. And as I said, I did much faster than he did. So somebody can do the same. But you have to be interested. You have to understand and be aware of the importance of communication.
Do you think that this
awareness?
Yeah. Do you think that this is around this time that you thought to yourself, I think I'm going to be in hospitality and a bartender or serving guests for the rest of my career? In observing someone like Joe, who's a master of his craft,
yes,
was that the kind of time where you're like, okay, there's real skill to this. There is real there's a mastery here. There's a kind of something you want to attain, and become.
Right.
And it's around that time, yeah?
Correct. Correct. And I've used it ever since. And it serves me right because, you know, the difference between, you think a huge difference between a bar like this Pebble Bar, which was a bar, in comparison with the American bar, which is an hotel bar. Now, the hotels bar are different from bars. You cannot afford to, for example, have a complaint. I mean, a resident in the Savoy pay something like 800 or 1,000 pounds a night, for standard pie, and you upsetting them, the general manager won't be happy.
No.
And you won't be in the same situation. So I had to read the sign. I had to make sure that the customer, especially quickly, of course, in find out whether it was resident or non-resident. Immediately, for me, was essential to know the difference between the two. Once I find out it's resident, I mean, staying in the hotel, then it became more personal.
Yeah.
More, you know, I say, hey. So friendship for me was important because only through a friendship, a communication as a friend, that I would be not only getting back, but give me a nice
experience.
Nice experience.
Yeah.
And avoiding dangers like complaint, for example. Finding out what needs, what is requirements. What would you do in the evening? You say, well, would you like to go to a restaurant? Would you like, what you recommend? Recommend a restaurant or going to the theater? So yes, wonderful. The theater is run, such a show. By the way, if you go, come back, let me know, because a very useful thing, not having a drink before, but also having have another drink on me after the theater. It's all about upselling. It's all, guys. It's all about upselling, and so. Not only, again, it's all part of that wonderful world of communication, involvement, and in that altruism is a very important gift. I am people person. I love make people happy. I love to see them enjoy themselves. I love that I'm part of that moment. Anybody say to me,
it's a gift, right?
The most compliment you used to give is that, Peter, thank you very much. You made my evening. I mean, I tell you, I got so much kick, so much fun out of that. Somebody tell me that. The other thing is, people say, let's go to see Peter at the American bar, not going to the American bar, but going to see Peter at the American. But American bar is an institution, it's an icon. I mean, it's been it was me. I was the eighth in line.
Yeah.
Okay. So, wonderful word. What do they say in England? The king is dead, long live the king, or the queen is dead, long live the king, whatever. What a wonderful saying. You're there, but when I left, Eric came afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, won two best bar in the world.
Yeah.
For 2 years running.
Yeah, 2 years running. So let's drill a bit more into the American bar. We're talking about it. So you arrive in the late 60s. Is that correct? The American bar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you've got Joe.
No, late 60s in American bar. I mean, there's Stone Shop out, but I've been went back in the 1980, 81.
So Pebbles Bar was all the way through the 70s.
I had nearly 15 years.
Right. So there's a long stint there. There's a long stint there, and it's owned by Savoy. And then did that get sold? And then you moved to American Bar. Is that correct? Yeah. So you're back at the American Bar in the early 80s, and Joe Gilmore's retired by this point. Is that correct?
He retired. He was he left 73.
73. So he's retired. So Victor Gower is there.
No, two Vic in the American Bar. Harry Vickers, which was number 2, became number 1.
Right.
Okay. And then, of course, left, and then Victor Gower, but never used to be a bartender. Used to be the head, because in those days, like now, there were bartenders and waiters. Now he was in charge. He was the head waiter. He was in charge of the floor,
Right.
shall we say, while Joe Gilmore was in charge of the bar. But he was the head bartender. Bartending in those days was the manager. Joe Gilmore was in charge of the bar. But when not a manager, was a head bartender. That's why I retain, sadly, for my number 2, which is Salim Khoury. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I met Salim.
Khoury.
Yeah.
He always complained about, why can't you be a manager? I would be head bartender. It also was that not say tradition, as far as it goes. Tradition is that head bartender is the manager, and you are assistant head bartender. You know. Anyway, it was always a little contretemps there, and.
But you didn't move straight. So you didn't move straight into the head bartender role at the American bar.
No, we were joined. It was a long story, but it was joined. But Victor was in charge.
Right. Got
Okay. You carry on. I didn't use my leverage, shall we say? I didn't really care. You were in charge. I'll just get on with it.
Okay. So in that era, like the 80s, what do you remember about how it was in the American bar? How was it different to the way it is today, both in terms of the way the bar was run, the drinks that you were serving, the kind of clientele that came in?
The clientele was all different. Why? Because the tax laws changed, so that most of you cannot claim the taxes say you could not claim any more into the entertainment, like restaurant bills and.
I see, for like businesses, you mean? Yeah.
That's right.
You mean taxable as a business expense?
Actually, as a business expense, no, you cannot put that anymore. So everything after that changed, because the business was lunchtime was absolute jam, and reasonably quiet in the evening. Okay, the things are changed again. So quiet in the morning, so people don't went out anymore, drinking and whatever, having lovely meals and so on. But we were busier in the evening because of the theaters, because of the situation.
This is like the 3 martini lunch era, right? Where people were going out and drinking martinis at lunch.
Well, we are busy. We are reasonably busy. Of course, we're never quiet, or reasonably busy because of the restaurants, because we have a pre-lunch drinks with a grill room and restaurants. So they always come, because the other one was a lounge. There was not a bar. So the only bar in those days was the American bar. So they used to come again, and then of course take the drinks. Usually take the drinks in a grill room and restaurants. So we were quite busy, but they were a completely different situation there. So the different clientele as well that's changed. At night time it was much exciting because, as I said, the also change. The other thing change is the fact that we were not more waiters and bartenders. I changed that. What I meant by we were all bartenders, we are all waiters, we are all cleaners, we all cleaning if it needs to be washing up and whatever it is, missing pliers and all that. We were everything. In depends on the So we were involved. So we practically that.
So before that, there was more segregation.
Segregated bartenders and waiters.
And then, I know it's still like that
and
now, isn't it?
I say, what a waste. To me, it was a great waste, because practically we were 5 people. In those days, we were 5 people. Victor and I, and 3 more people. Carry on the entire duties of the day. Okay, but 11 till 3, I say 11. Okay, the usual thing. And but then when you change the law, practically could open all day. Then we become 7 people.
Right.
2 days off, 5 people. Salim behind the bar, 3 stations, and moi, Jack of all trades, needed to be behind the bar. I was needed behind the bar. I was needed on the floor. I was needed going on the floor. There was me to cover all.
You could float between, yeah.
Yeah, in between.
What sort of drinks were you serving? Do you remember at the time?
We were I
80s,
insisted that we were the true classic bar as far as it's concerned in the world. I had every post, I promise you, I had every bartenders around the world from Japan, from Tokyo, from United States, from Canada, from everywhere, the part of the world, came to me and say, how do you make classic cocktails? Because to me was imperative, was that everything had to be as it was. As much as I could do, even the glasses. The glasses, no, new trendy glass, not interested. That was served in that glass, that will be served in that glass. That the ice used, and that the ice I will use. Crushed ice, all that. What? No crushed ice. Because it didn't exist then. Didn't exist then. I mean, even went to Cuba. To Cuba, they went to Bodeguita Medio. Yeah. And I say, no, in England we used to crush ice. What?
Yeah, they don't use it there.
What?
No, they don't.
What? Go back to England. Go back to England. We don't have stupid.
I was quite surprised when I saw they used cubed ice there.
You say, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Then I said, wait a minute. So people used to come to the American bar, ask for it, burrito, whatever, and I give them ice. And people, excuse me, but it should be with crushed ice. I said, no. The region is with rice. Mm-hmm. And why? Let me explain why. Now, you with crushed ice, what happens?
Dilution a lot of the time.
You have all the weight, the heavy part comes to the bottom. Mm. You have the straw. You have 2 sips, and you're practically drunk.
Yeah.
The rest is all watered down. That's right. While if you use with ice, you mix it, you have practically continuous the same flavor, slightly diluted, of course, but you still have the same flavor because you're using, and the dilution is much slower than the crushed ice, surprisingly enough. So, that's what I meant. So everything was
standardized.
Yeah. You got Floriditas.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what it's going to be.
What is it?
Did you reference the Savoy cocktail book much in those days? Were you looking back at the recipes in the Savoy cocktail book and using those sort of verbatim as they were written?
Oh yes, absolutely. It was my reference book in many ways. Apart from then, of course, the 70 United Kingdom Bartenders Guild, so involved with that in the 70s, and then it was on. And it went on to another reference book and whatever it is. So I used a few books then. But then it was only the Savoy book.
Yeah.
I didn't use anybody else.
How aware were you, and how much part of the culture of the American bar at that time in the 80s, 90s was Harry Craddock, Ada Coleman? Were they sort of in your minds as these bartenders? Did you know much about them, or was it more they were talked about as, there was sort of this guy Harry Craddock, he wrote the Savoy cocktail book. Were you sort of consciously aware of this sort of legendary bartender Harry Craddock?
Oh well, yes, because I was the 8th, so I said, wait a minute, I had to, if I follow the tradition of my predecessors, so I had to learn what my predecessors did. So, because I had to carry on. Yeah. And I want to carry on. I don't want to change it. I don't want to change anything. I want to carry on with the same thing. So, I must find out from Ada Coleman. There was, strange enough, was somebody else before Ada Coleman, but unfortunately, we haven't got a record. We haven't got it. One day, maybe something will happen. something would appear. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned at the moment, we can say that either Coleman was the first bartenders in the American bar.
Yeah.
But we know there's something before that. But anyway, we stay to there.
Okay.
So I did all my records. I did Johnny Johnson, from there to Harry Craddock, Johnny Johnson, Joe Gilmore. Before was Carling, but then he moved to Cafe Royal. Because after the war, it didn't come back. It was before the war, and then didn't come back. So Joe Gilmore became and then of course Harry Vickers, Victor Gawa, and me. So I followed all my predecessors, used the same thing. I used the same glasses, for example, for a martini, which Harry Craddock used to use. But I had a problem. Being busy, I could not really explain everything, every customer's. It was a bit of a deal. So what I did, I used the classic martini glass for a gin one. But the vodka, I used Harry Craddock.
Okay.
It's like a tulip.
Yeah,
glass.
tulip.
It's a
Yeah,
tulip glass.
yeah.
And so I reduced my time explaining, but obviously people use the vodka, and I say, oh, let me explain why I'm using this glass. And so I minimized this. So, usually was more gin than vodka, so I had less explanation.
Yeah.
Because I was very busy man. I mean, I couldn't really entertain that one.
Was it a lot of American clientele?
Lots of American. In those days, practically 65% was American.
Yeah.
And I love them. I love because America they are such fun. Honestly, I mean, you could say that okay, the occasional odd one, you always find, because they're nothing provide, that they like to be left alone with a newspaper, with a book, or whatever it is. But 95% that they say, hi Peter, hi you, hi my mom, they're all jolly, and they only need a little spark to make
and
it
they love
happen.
cocktails.
And they love cocktails.
I love it.
Oh yes.
No, it's good.
Yes.
I mean, so as you sort of emphasised, you were the eighth.
Yes.
And I guess there's a sort of responsibility that comes with being the head barman at the American bar. You're kind of a custodian, really, of a craft, of a tradition. You can't change much, I guess, when you're there, right? It's hard to put your own fingerprint on that place because really your job is to ensure that not much changes. Is that your sense, your feeling of your time there?
I didn't want to change. I felt that it was a niche. I cover something which everybody else was not covering. So to be unique in certain way that I was doing all the classic cocktail the way they should have, honest, integrity. I felt I had a responsibility of integrity and respect the cocktail. So, and it was a huge demand. I was doing very successful. So why? So I made, of course, I had created some signature cocktails, of course.
Yes.
I mean, I had my cocktail list. I mean, I've seen, but don't know many. And again, 90% of my signature cocktail can be reproduced. And a customer could actually go home and do it. So I did not shy away because to me always cocktail meant that anybody could do it. And I mean, practically none. I mean, until the very end, I refused to do something which a customer was not could not reproduce. I mean, I felt I would say dishonest. I felt not right. I felt that the customer should be in everything that the bartender I did would be involved.
Do you think it's less about them being able to reproduce it and more actually about not confusing them, giving them a drink that they can understand?
Exactly. Exactly. So bring it to my world. I introduce my world. I was able to introduce my world. I communicate my world. I communicate my sort of practices, if you like.
Yeah.
And they came in. I wasn't patronizing them. I wasn't trying to teach them anything, because that's not what you're talking about. I just explaining what I was doing and how I was doing and why it was done that way. And I said, and the result is, so, and they said, oh, really? Oh, and I said, oh, I can do that. Yes, let me show you. And please, and for example, give an idea, I had always a jar, it used to be sort of like a honey jar, big honey jar.
Kilner jar type thing.
Yeah, they're sort of, it's pretty big. And I used to, occasionally, I used to say that, please don't be frightened on the gadget, the shaker. You don't need a shaker at all.
Just use a jar.
Look, I promise you, most of the time I use it at home, because my wife is very pleased. So I don't make a mess in the ceiling or the floor, because of spillage. The spillage.
Put it in a jar.
You seal the jar. You do a little bit, and off you go.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about
the lid's not going to pop off.
So don't be. No, you can do practically. As I say, there's the tool. So obviously, professional we have to use it, but please, you don't have to use it. Let me explain different ways of doing it. At home, for example.
I think you've hit on something here, which is like, I think this is another part of hospitality, is not leaving guests feeling confused and intimidated by what you're doing as a host or as a bartender, but letting them into the world, giving them that gift of, here's how I do things. I want to do this for you. Come back anytime, but please understand that it's not complicated what I'm doing. I'm just doing something for you, Right. I think there's something really generous about that, because I think it's actually the easier way is to behave as if what you're doing is above the guest. It's sort of beyond them, because in that way you kind of create this dynamic of like, you're here because you can't get this normally.
Right.
And that's what my purpose is, to give you something that you can't normally get. But actually, if you change that to, I'm going to give you something that you can get, it's high quality, but it's achievable by anyone. But the value here is my hosting, the experience I'm giving you around that, the enjoyment of our conversation, the memories of that you can take with you. That's more valuable, I think. I think so.
Yes. That's why I have. As I said, I appreciate, and I said I like what the young people do today, but I no criticism. I don't criticize anyone. The different style, different ways of doing things like this. Of course, there are something which obviously I don't agree. Obviously, but it's my problem. It's not their problem. It's my problem.
Yes,
I had to deal with it. It's not their problem. It's I can only suggest that, look, may I suggest if you could do it this way, it could be better. That is as much as I can actually say it. And that's as far as I go. I don't try to, you shouldn't do this, you should, hold on a minute. Who are you? You could actually say, who are you to tell me what, it's talking about an individual, different way of doing things. So may I suggest that if you do something, maybe it could be up to you, of course. That's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
But, for example, which is obviously came with the will of mixologists. In my days, we're not mixologists, we are bartenders. Then, the man to me is the father of mixology, Dick Braxel. Okay, some people they don't agree. It's their problem. My is Dick Braxel. Start the mixology, because when I went to Dick's bar at the Atlantic, and went there and I said, I'm not a bartender, I'm a mixologist. Okay, and that's the reason why. Well, maybe I'm going to a different thing.
Keep going, it's all right.
Different, but anyway, we come back to that if you wish to exploit. But anyway, what I say, this mixologist. They picked up a few things which I personally don't find pleasant. But I'm not, as I say to you, I'm not going to criticize their ways, right? For example, if you are with the straws or maybe using your hand, kissing your hand by tasting a drink, because a lot of youngsters seems to be very keen to kiss their hands, which is
Kiss their own hands.
which I don't mind. I find it slightly unhygienic, but there's another story. And then how can you not wash your hand and you have it 3 or 4 cocktails without washing your hand? What does it really taste? There's another thing to me is a mystery. But for example, whether you use your straw or neither that, you say, and you say to yourself, yes. Okay? That means that what you've done is right. Okay? Now, where does that in that process leaves the customer? Because if the customer sees, I say, oh, he's going to do, and that is right.
Yeah, if they don't like it, then...
Excuse me, where does it leave me? You intimidated me. I cannot say, if, for example, I test it and I don't like it, what can I do?
You're immediately in disagreement with the bartender, aren't you?
A disagreement. I don't want to disagree. I don't want any argument. I don't want any fuss. I don't want to be, it's a... So you're putting your customer uneasy, uncomfortable. You are deciding for him. But the cocktail is subjective. What's good for you is not good for me.
It's interesting. I've never thought about it quite that way as a sort of performance act, whether you're doing it with a straw or kissing your own hand.
Whatever. You can do it, but without showing or saying or giving the appearance that this is the right one.
Yeah, I mean,
the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
I mean, so are you... Because I would say that it's important to test drinks.
Is there?
Yeah, I think so, because I think you can get variances between... People's pouring is off, you get variances between juice and sugar. There's all sorts of little things that can go on. I think I get what you're saying, and I agree with it. I don't think it's appropriate necessarily to test drinks in front of customers, but if you can do it discreetly, then I think it's a good thing to do.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. Let me put it another way then. What are we talking about here? Now, if you're, for example, I've been places where, for example, let's say mojitos. We mention about mojito, or we mention any other cocktails. That in your premises, especially when the cocktail, for example, Negroni, let's say put Negroni, any cocktail you can think of which are popular. Mm-hmm. Now you come to the bar, to any bar, and you are served something like 100, maybe 150 mojitos. Do you really need to taste each one of them after 100 and plus mojitos? I shouldn't think so. You should be now then knowing, unless you want to drink, unless you want to have a free drink, unless you want an excuse to have a list.
With enough straws.
At least because you are testing with a straw about 100 mojitos, you had by the end of the evening, you had a few drinks. Okay? If you're not under the influence of alcohol. Whatever it is, do you really need it? Or you are trying to do what?
I think I think in some ways, if you're repeatedly making the same drink, then actually there's even more reason to taste. And the reason
to taste.
Yeah, because I think that's when complacency can take hold, and you can very easily get a little bit sloppy because it's like factory work. You're just churning out the same drink over and over again. Something goes wrong. You're making 2 at the same time, but you only double pour the gin, but you forget to double pour the Campari. Something along those lines. I think you can easily slip up. And I've caught myself in the past. Maybe it's just I'm not a very good bartender, but I've tasted drinks before and I've gone, oh shit, I made a mojito. I forgot to put the sugar in. I saved that drink from getting to the customer. Now I get what you're saying. I know I can sit on both sides of this argument. I think it's pretty crazy. Sampling 500 cocktails on a night sounds kind of crazy and impractical, but it's such a small amount. I think it's doable. I think if you're doing it because you want to have a drink, then that's a completely different thing. Like, that's not the purpose of it. There's no way you should be suffering the effects of alcohol through sampling a tiny bit of a cocktail. But I just know from experience that I've pulled drinks back and gone, oh, wait a second, that's not right. It could be over diluted. It could be not. It could be not cold enough. It could be I missed an ingredient. I mispoured an ingredient. And I think just because you are familiar with making that cocktail, it doesn't mean you aren't subject to the possibility of fucking it up occasionally.
Okay, I understand. But you also say the dangers are, again, what you put the customer uneasy.
Yeah, I agree with
Number
that one.
one.
Totally, yeah.
Number two, you are a mixologist. Okay, so if you're a mixologist, which I, for example, today, we are in a situation, for example, if I was in the American bar, I need somebody behind the bar, creative, inventive, so imagination, so I will employ a mixologist. I need somebody at the front of the bar, in a lounge. In a lounge, I will employ somebody with panache, with a lot of extrovert. With a front boy, hello, good evening, sir. Doing like that. You see? So there are places now in the bar that you can actually make that choices.
Yes.
That would be most probably the case. But then I would definitely say that if anybody will be at the bar, drinking at the bar, I will not allow him to do that. Even if, for example, you say it, because obviously practice, no? If you are a bartender, you do cocktail a day in, day out. I don't know how many cocktails you do, but about hundreds, maybe 200, whatever it is. You should be a professional. So you're using, which I dislike very much, measures. Now, let's example that you are making a slight mistake, that you make it slightly alter. For example, you say a little bit more Campari, whatever it is, you do this and that and this. You know, because you're actually testing it. You actually know what you've been doing, and you know that you might be made, could have done a bit more there. But you, as a professional, know, because you served. Does the customer know? Does the actually customer aware of that 100 of centiliters or milliliters? Does it really, that to me, if you are concerned with that to me is arrogance. Because you're imposing or you are changing the format. So that means that the moment you make that decision, you're not including the customer in that decisions. The decision is made by you, not by the customer. The customer doesn't know that. The customer knows what is looking at you as a professional way you're doing it, you're the way you're making it. And in every action you're taking, you are involving the customer at the bar, of course, not the one who's there, but you're involving the customer in your performance.
I agree.
It's a theater, right? You are the artist. So you are the one to make that decision. Where do you want to be correct? This is exact measure. Testing it, I agree, whatever. And it's on this in this sphere that the customer is not involved. Or not only that, but make uneasy because you made the decision for him. Or you are taking the chances. You're not going to go to split the item, split this milliliter. You're not splitting anything. You are now using the professionalism to do that, knowing, maybe I could have done a fraction, but by doing that, I'd upsetting the relationship. I'm upsetting the relationship to the customer. The unspoken communication, because the customer sees things.
I get it. Yeah.
He makes up his mind before you even know it.
Yeah. So just putting to one side we probably shouldn't spend too much more time on this, but
yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
No. I'm just saying, putting to one side, my final point, putting to one side the performative part of it, as in the customer seeing me kind of like,
Yes.
Yes, perfect. This is
Yes.
great. Yeah,
No,
you
this
could-
is something.
I agree with you on that. And it hadn't really occurred to me before. But if someone sat at the bar and they see that, it does give them a message about how how this relationship works and how they ought to think about this drink, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
But putting that to one side, I think and this does come down to the details. If you're a little bit out on a pour, it's probably not going to make a huge difference. But if I overpour, let's say a Negroni, let's say I overpour on the Campari
Yes.
on one round, and then they order another one, and I underpour, or I overpour on something else, I've then got problems with consistency between the drinks that I've given that customer. Now, they might not have noticed the first Negroni has a little bit too much Campari in it, but when the second one comes and it's got too little, they are going to notice that because they've just had one. So I think that in that situation where you have a guest repeat ordering drinks, you need to make damn sure every single one is exactly the same. Now, you might argue, well, you can do that because you just measure it right in the first place and you've made these drinks 100 times, so why the hell would you fuck it up? But in the flow of service where that person's order's coming in, that's coming in, oh, they wanted it that way, this twist on it, right, okay. Don't get me wrong, this is what a bartender is expected to do, handle all this information at the same time and produce great drinks. But it's at that point where I think you can mess things up. And then one sloppy pour in one direction is another sloppy pour in another direction. And then you have inconsistency and the guest is then getting inconsistent drinks.
Right. Okay. Let me put it another way then. I go around London and said that one drink, Negroni, simple as Negroni. Two bartenders behind the bar.
Yeah.
One makes it, and you get it.
Yeah,
the other one does it.
Yeah.
It tastes
It's
different.
Yeah.
Now, where would you then that what you're saying makes sense what they say, but then how do you justify? How do you make it up?
Well,
how do you see the problem is that you will never solve that problem.
Look, Peter, I'd say if I'm in the American bar or any good cocktail bar in London, I would expect to get the same Negroni, whatever bartender is behind the bar, because a good bar ought to have set standards about how they make classic cocktails that every bartender is trained on, every bartender sticks to. And if that's not the case, then that's a problem with the bar. It's not a problem with the bartender necessarily, because they're able to freestyle it, and that's the higher end cocktail bars. I think that doesn't tend to be the case. Between bars, yeah, you're going to get differences in Negronis, of course.
Different bartenders.
Different bartenders in different bars, but
not a different bar, same bar.
yeah, but that's a problem with the bar if that's happening. Yeah,
exactly.
There should be consistency.
Exactly.
You shouldn't get Peter's version of a Negroni, Tristan's version of Negroni, on one order than another order because
You're right.
two different people make the drink.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's agree on that bit. And we'll move the conversation.
Well, I know. Sorry.
It's a really interesting.
It's just a point.
It's
just a point of view. It's something that gain you lose and pro and cons. You gain one. It's all a question of that.
But that's why we can have a conversation about it because it's interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you mentioned UKBG, UK Bartenders Guild, a few times, and you were president of the UKBG for a while.
Yes.
When did you first get involved in the UKBG? And maybe for people.
Perosino is start in 72. 72, 70. I think it's 72, 73. Yes, I think so. Around about that at that time, I may wrong maybe 1 year off place, but I think it would be 72, 73 would be the right thing.
Can you maybe just elaborate for people who are listening who are not from the UK, what the sort of the role of the UKBG is or was at the time and how that's changed?
Well, the UKBG was always a training association. It was born as a training association because in 34 which Alec Craddock was the first president. In those days, the prohibition is the one who created the problem. Is that a lot of Americans came over and started asking cocktails, cocktails which practically they quote us totally the best. I said, what the hell's going on here? And so that's what happens. It means that a lot of bartenders, especially the West End, all around the West End, all the top bars and the top bartenders at the level of Joey Craddock and from Claridge's, the Connaught, in the Cafe Royals, and all the Barclay, and all the top in the Ritz.
Yep.
And everyone of them got together. I say we got to do something here because a lot of this American come over and ask you for things. We better start teaching bartenders how to make those drinks, and that's what it happens. It create the guild. He was because it was Harry Craddock worked in America, practically all his training was done in America.
Yep.
So he knew all so he was practically the first. That's why he became the first president.
Did he move back when Prohibition came into effect? Was that why he came back to the UK, Harry Craddock?
Correct.
Yeah.
He lost the job.
Yeah, he lost his job. Yeah.
Yeah. So he came over, and of course it is Savoy, clever. They say, hey, wait a minute, it is headhunted. They picked up very cleverly, got him, and so he practically. He knew all the cocktails. So we did not, in an American bar, had no problem because we had him. But before that, they had a problem. And a lot of places had problems. So a few of them, they got together and practically started task teaching. So the bar school, the UKBG training courses. And then a sitting guild. We had a sitting guild working with it as well. United paid with sitting guild, association with sitting guild. So that way it's all it's all practically it's training. And then of course it progressed from there. Then of course we had office in Brewer Street. And we had all the records, we had all the competition records, and all the rest that goes with it to promote bartenders, to motivate bartenders and all that jazz.
Did you ever do cocktail competitions?
Lots.
I know you've judged many. Did you ever enter cocktails?
I used to love it.
Yeah.
Because to me, it was legally spying.
It was what?
Legally spying, or shall we say, I'm allowed to.
Legally spying. Spying.
As you say, grab the other people's ideas, and because why? To me, our competition are always the cake. To me, competition was the cake. So to be always together with other bartenders, okay, and exchanging ideas.
Still like that now, right? Yeah.
So and I used to oh, what fantastic. I used to write it down. I said, oh my God, what a great idea. Of course, I didn't think of that. It's a good idea. So I used to pick up all these things like this. So to me, competition was that. Honestly, I promise you. Okay, one occasion, but that was a cherry on the cake. So thank you very much. Thank you. I acknowledge to be a winner. Thank you very much. Thank you. But in reality, in my ticket, thank you very much. $3 full.
With a notepad full of ideas.
Well, but exactly. That to me, the most valuable thing about competition is to actually get people, enrich, so we say, the knowledge and ideas.
Would you consider yourself like a competitive bartender? Were you aware of what other bartenders were doing, and did you want to have an edge?
No, never imitate. Never want to be. For very early age, I done my yoga meditation, transcendental meditation. I was never involved.
There was never an ego.
No. I never was involved in that world. I want to be. How much you earn? I want to earn more. I never chased money. All my life, I never chased money. Money came to me. I never even chased my wife. My wife came to me. I never chase anything apart from what I wanted to do. I mean, I can say to you, even now, talking to you, I'm in the right place at the right time, do what I want to do. I wouldn't be here, I promise you, I wouldn't be here talking to you if it wasn't the case. I would be at my wife with my at home, or doing something else. I mean, I always in the right place at the right time doing what I want to do. Ended. We'll give you an example if you like. Working at Savoy for those many years, I say, well, what is the danger? What is the downfall or the danger downfall of working so many years in one place? What are the problems? Very easy. Fearful. Worry about losing. Worry about one day that you might not have the job. What would you do? The danger. You see what I mean? You'll be complacent. You'll be sort of set in your laurel.
Yeah,
Do you understand?
Yeah.
That makes you...
Can I do anything else other than this?
Yeah, you become very vulnerable. You became very... See, what happens if that ends? That becomes an insecurity.
Yes.
You'll be scared.
Your security, in a way, is an insecurity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I say, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. So I used to go once a month to the employee agencies. I used to be something, employment agency. And a friend of mine was there, there. I used to sit there every month, go sit in there and listen to all people looking for jobs. And their problems, all their problems, used to listen. Sometimes I used to go helping him because the Italians say, look, it doesn't... very poor English. Can you translate for me? I used to translate for me, helping him as well. So I said, if I do that every month, one day I would be very comfortable sitting there. I don't have any fear.
It's like an insurance policy.
It is insurance policy. Yeah. What would I do, for example, when I retire? I said, what would I do? I would be, because I listen to all the people, retiring. Oh my God, what do I do when I retire? Some people worry about, what next? What after retirement? I said, well, wait a minute, I don't want to be in that position. What can I do? People after retirement, which is 65, 70, what can I do? An exercise or a sport or something that will allow me to do that? Golf. You see, I say, I pick up golf. I bowl, the ball, a load ball.
Lawn bowls, yeah.
There, I done that, and I pick up golf. So I say, the day I retire, I have exactly what to do. I go to play golf three times a week. I can go this, I can do that. I'm my retirement is involved. I will definitely will not give up bartending. I would maybe. If anybody want to listen, I would be teaching. I did teach at the Westminster College. I did some teaching. I would do that demonstration. I will do whatever the young people want me to be. What will like me. So I will be ready for whatever they want me to do. I will be on their disposal because I done what I did. So I'm retired. So I done what I wanted to do. So let me put back something to the business. I've been taken, if you want to say. Now I want to put back. So I'm not interested in anything. I want to, So all that, you see, I prepared myself in every situation. I said, where the downfall. For example, is a physical work. Is our bartender, what is the problem with the bartender? Back problem. Cervical problems, flat feet, varicose veins. That's the bartender's problems. Right? How can I avoid that? So yoga, stretching my spine, for example. Do my exercises, but you have to, the yoga, you have to be a mat, rather rubbish. You do yoga exercise by standing, by lying down, leaning down, whatever position you are, sitting down, you can do yoga exercise. So all this nonsense of, so I used to teach my staff. I say, first of all, you want to flat feet, invest in a good shoes. Don't buy the cheapest shoes. Remember, you're spending 10 hours in one shoes. If you want to be cheap shoes, for pleasure, because in leisure you spend 3 hours, maybe 4 hours maximum. So you can cheap shoes.
Your work shoes are going to look after you.
Invest in a good shoes so that you're avoiding flat feet.
Yeah.
Exercise once you got the proper shoes with the lace and so like this. A lot of people, all my students, all my youngsters, a lot of people say, Peter, the best advice you got me, invest in a good shoes. I mean, even to them, really? Is that the best?
I showed you how to make a martini, and this
I
is what
did,
you
exactly. You tell me,
about the
this is the best I could come out with the shoes. So, anyway, I mean, for example, things like this. So, exercise. So, that's what I've done, for example. Exercise, avoiding the back problem, resolve all that. Then, as I said, mind catches. Now, what is the problem? So I mentioned to you the fears and things like this. So I done that as well. So I mentioned leave the moment. 38 and a half years with the Savoy company. Okay? 22 years in the American bar, 15 years or more, no, more than 50, 38 years, 15, 23 years in the American bar. Anyway, so whatever. Done that, right? One day, I got up in the morning and I said to my wife, darling, I don't feel to go to work today. I really don't feel to go to work. My wife knows me. I say, are you all right, darling? Yes. Are you sure everything okay? Yes, darling, don't you worry. Everything is fine. I just say that don't feel like work. Okay. Ended that. The second day, I woke up the same thing. And I said to my wife, like yesterday, I don't feel like to go to work today. My wife panicked. I said, why? Why do you feel like this? Don't do anything silly. Don't do anything silly. What are you going to do? Don't worry, darling. Don't worry. Nothing will happen. Everything is okay. I went at work. I went to my general manager. I gave you 1 month's notice. Now just think of it. The general manager, but what? He was a good actor. He was a good, but he knew what to say and what to do. Well polished general manager. And I said, but Peter, but all the money you lose. And I said, you know what to do with that money? I said, what do you mean? You know exactly what I'm trying to tell you. 1 month's notice. And if you are really, genuinely what you're trying to tell me now, that you care about me, the best thing you could do is say, go now. Mm. Because I would be lovely to go down, pick up all my stuff, and go. Mm. Because I feel that 30 days of my life, they won't come back to me. 30 days not wanted to be here. I will be tough for me to be here for 30 days. And know what to be here is going to be hell. But I'll do it because I feel that I need to give you, even know that you have Salim Khoury, that could do my job quite easily. But, I said, well, all right, thank you very much. And I left. So you think about the chap which he was working in the foyer, they give him £27,000 to go to let him go, to say go. Think how much money, if I wanted to,
if you'd wait it out.
How much money will have to give me? That's why when I told him, I said, don't give me all this. You won the jackpot. You actually go without paying me anything. He didn't give me any money. I left without a cent.
This is 2003. Is this 2003?
2003.
2003. What do you think triggered? What do you think triggered your desire to leave? What was so sudden about it? Why did it?
I didn't feel like the hotel was bought by Blackstone.
Right.
It's a company which is Blackstone, which is really car park people, and investing with a lot of money, investing in hotels, and then start buying hotels all over the place. So they were not true hoteliers. They were the financier, the business people.
And it wasn't long after that that they closed it, right?
They treated the hotel like a business.
Yeah.
So making money, that's it.
But it was closed for years, wasn't it, for refurbishment?
No, that's before.
Yeah, but it closed again and reopened in 2010, didn't it?
Yeah, but that reopened, but not by them. I mean, they sold.
They sold it again.
They sold to the which is present now, which the Arab.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it is that owns it now. I don't know.
Acorn now. It's
Right.
Acorn Group.
Acorn.
The Acorn Group now. But before it used to be the Saudis. People.
Because I remember, you won't remember this, but the first time we met was in Scotland in 2008, I think, and I was working for Diageo at the time, and there was a Johnny Walker event at the Johnny Walker Championships.
I was there.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I don't know.
Gleneagle.
Yeah, it was Salvatore there as well, but it was at Gleneagles. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, we met very briefly, and I was asking you about the Savoy because it was closed at the time.
Yes.
In 2008. And you were like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on with it," kind of thing. And then eventually it reopened in October 2010. The American bar.
It closed in 2004.
So it's closed for 6 years.
Because they invite me at lunch,
Right.
and for before closing, the last lunch they goes, and then after that they started. They say the following day was the auction.
Right.
The auction.
Auctioning off all the
Auction,
fittings and
auction,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
And of course the general manager said to Peter, "Can you help us? Help us, for the auction." And I say, "Well, what are you auctioning?" I said, "Well, you go around and you see with the tag, anything that's got a tag, we auction." And I said, "Oh, thank you very much." And so I went around to check everything. I look around. I went back and said, "Thank you very much. I appreciate, and thank you very much to invite me for the last lunch before closing. But I cannot help you. They cannot help you for the auctions. For what I've seen, I'm not going to help you. Thank you very much. But thanks for it." They say, "Yes, of course, Peter, I understand. But things are changing. Things have to be changed."
What you didn't want to help them sell this stuff? Is that, yeah? You thought it was to belong to the hotel. It needed to stay there. You didn't want to enable the sale of it?
No, I think the vision was completely different than I had. So it's just a different different things. They practically did all the famous to me the most beautiful things about the Savoy was the Art Deco. One of the things was famous art, and the American loved it. Loved Art Deco. But it was tired. Of course, needed a lot of money to bring it back to And I agree with what they did. I mean, absolutely agree that they need a lot of investment to bring it back to us, decent, back to 5-star deluxe, or whatever we like. But I felt that it went too far, to actually not having anything about Art Deco. I mean, Art Deco disappeared completely. Right?
Yeah.
I think that I don't know if I've been banqueting. I don't know if I've seen maybe one or two things that are banqueting. I'm not sure. We haven't been there, but it's practically, if you enter the Savoy and we go around, there's no Art Deco anywhere to be found. And that was probably but I can understand. People say, how far are we going to go? I mean, we have to renovate. How far are we going? Are we continuing with a bit of Art Deco, with a bit of, or shall we completely new slate? They decide for a new slate.
Yeah. It's funny. I interviewed Del de Groff about 9 months ago in New York, and I messaged him and I was like, "It'd be really cool if we did it at the Rainbow Room." And he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to go there." And I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I don't like the way they did the refurbishment. They've ruined it. They changed everything. It's not what it used to be. It was the most beautiful room in Manhattan, and they changed it all. And now I'm not interested." So we didn't do it. It's interesting, I guess, when you spend a long tenure at a place, and it becomes part of you, and you become part of it, and then it changes dramatically.
But to be fair to that's why I mean, this is my particular thing, but I mean, I agree. When I go, I think it's a beautiful hotel. I mean,
it is beautiful. Yeah.
But the problem is was substantial. I mean, we're talking about foundations here.
Yeah.
We're talking about all the electrics. I mean, we're talking about the Savoy never spent any money for years and years.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the what do you call it? The asbestos. They close. I mean, asbestos everywhere, which is illegal. I mean, you know, think about that. I was worried because when the asbestos, the ceiling at the American Bar was asbestos, the ceiling, no? And then when they restructured the bar, was they made a false ceiling because of the micro inch board, what you have now. If you know the American Bar, is practically a micro inch board designed the Queen Elizabeth.
Right.
The first one.
The first one.
And if you see the American Bar, it's just like being a ship, on a ship. You know, there's the all rounders because obviously with a ship you cannot have any angle.
Yes.
Because the danger you can bang, you know. Yeah. So everything has to be soft, you know. And that's what the American Bar. The ceiling is a ship.
Yeah.
You know? So everything is done. It's a full ceiling. I thought it was and then I put the air conditioner into the full ceiling. I thought. What asbestos! Oh my God! But I got away with it.
You got away with it.
I got away with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so you know, it had a major restructure, you know, and that's why it cost more than 200 million to do it.
Crazy. How often do you find yourself walking through the doors of the Savoy these days?
God bless them. They are so nice. I mean, you know, from the general manager downwards, they are so appreciative, so kind, so very kind. So I always feel welcome. They all give me this, always feel welcome. I don't abuse it. I try not to abuse it.
I don't think you could abuse it.
No. I try to limit. But you know, a lot of course, I have a problem with a lot of visitors, you know, from another country of the world. Oh, Peter, I would like to visit the American Bar. Would you mind if you come? So I usually go a few more times than I need to, but because I put in a situation where people ask me.
Someone's twisting your arm,
Yeah, because obviously, if I go there, I could tell them why and why not. What it used to be, what is not, and all the photographs. All the photographs there.
Well, they've got the museum sort of thing there now.
Terry O'Neill, the photographer.
Oh yeah,
Terry O'Neill. There's all people I served through the years. It's all my customers through the years. And
it's a walk down memory lane for you, right?
That's all. His legacy. See all these pictures. There are a couple of pictures where she was not there. One of my famous customers used to live on the 7th floor, which is Richard Harris.
Oh yeah.
And and I used to have a lot of fun with him, obviously, because I treat him. It was his house, his home. So I treat him like, I'm not told, you know, I treat him like, and he was complaining that he never had a picture. I never had the photographs of him, you know. So they put it there after he died. They put the pictures. I say, sorry, we're a little late. A little late with a picture, but now he's got a picture. He's got the photographs of him there. And
I think it's amazing that I guess sort of the legacy of the Savoy is being celebrated today because it's still arguably the most famous bar hotel even in the world.
Yes.
And I think it's important to celebrate that. There's so many characters that have visited as guests, so many famous bartenders who've worked there, and I think that there's a duty and responsibility for the managers, the owners of that hotel, to sort of carry forward that legacy and sort of introduce it to the next generation of guests and the next generation of bartenders, the next generation of chefs and hospitality staff. And I mean, I'm just grateful that you are still here to tell these stories and to bring it to life and to remind us of like how amazing hospitality is as a tool for connecting to other people. But also to sort of remind us of some of the characters and the people that have played a role in London bartending and in the bars that have come and gone.
Right. Well, I'm hoping that I doing some. I don't know, call it service if you like, or whatever the way you put it. When I go to the American bar, I always tell stories. I tell them what we did or how my predecessors did. So not just most probably they read it. They can actually today you can find it anywhere. But to have somebody who actually tell it, that I've lived it, that they actually can witness of what used to be downstairs, from downstairs, or from the bandstand rising with a different with a balcony instead of than just the Rat Pack, Louis Armstrong, Story Fitzgerald, and Eartha Kitt and all that, all the famous stars, singers in those days. They and the Savoy fiance, and all the back. I used to tell them all the stories that used to come with it. So they obviously, I feel that maybe enrich somewhat if they're there to give a bit more, just in case somebody customer is interested. They are in the picture. They put them in the picture. So I'm hoping that to give a little input for them, to help them to leave the moment, to leave that moment where in the American bar, then of course they'll move on to a different thing.
I mean, look, just to close up, it sort of occurred to me whilst we've been talking that I consider myself to be someone who's been in this industry for a while now, but you've been retired for most of the time that I've been working in hospitality. I'm about 25 years now. But you've not really been retired. I mean, you're not bartending every single day, but you are still getting out there. I mean, we've interacted a lot in world-class cocktail competitions and things like that all over the world over the past 10, 15 years. You're 85?
Yes.
I mean, are you planning on stopping at any point? Or is this the... I think there's something with people who are long-lived and happy like yourself, where actually the fact that you're still doing it is the reason that you're healthy and happy. Would you agree with that?
Yes. I can say I killed two birds with one stone, which is well said. All my predecessors, and I tell you there are many, okay? They are all, the people are retired with practically, with the intention to like a switch, switch off, I'm retired, I'm a couch potato. I don't want to get involved with the bar industries. I don't want to I want to relax, okay? That's what the idea was. People with that mentality, shall we say, with the idea of relaxing.
Yeah. I
bury them all, okay? The people who are shown a little interest and kept the interest going, whether they are involved or not involved, it doesn't matter, but they still, with social media or finding curiosity, or they go around the bars as a customer, not as a customer, they still have that lovely little passion is still there, the motivation, shall we say, to keep going without putting it in, like me, for example. No, they're still, the majority, they're still alive.
What does that tell you?
So, I got a message, you see. So, my message is that, first of all, I continue what I love. And I will love the day that there will be, what was the singer? The American singer. And he was a golfer, okay? And he got, at the 19th hole, bang. He left it the way he wanted. I love to, because he was practically on the golf course after playing 18 rounds.
And then drop dead afterwards.
My dream or whatever, but I don't know if anybody listens up there, if there is somebody up there, to one day, with a shake in my hand, shaking a cocktail, massive heart attack.
Drop dead in a bar.
Drop dead, or behind the bar somewhere, or at home with a shaker, or it doesn't care. Just a shaker shaking in my last thing. It will be, that is this. And I want to remember as someone enjoy from the moment you enter the bar until the very end. Enjoy every minute, every second, every year, every whatever. This wonderful industry of ours, bartenders.
Yes. Well, look, I hope that this death scenario with the shaker doesn't happen too soon. But
I'm hoping not, because that's why I'm feeling involved.
I hope not. And if it does go down like that, and I happen to be in the room at the time, I will pick up that shaker and pour your last cocktail out, and then we will toast to you.
How wonderful it would be. I mean,
all right.
My God, what a wonderful it would be.
That would be great.
Well, I promise you I have no problem. That's why I do what I do. I'm prepared for that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Peter Dorelli, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Tristan. Good luck with these amazing ventures of yours.
Thank you so much.